bro.
Well, tell us, would you think Mr. Weiner should pull out of the race, sir?
Oh, absolutely. I was the one that called up the first time you asked when Weiner was in the race. I was the first person to say Weiner. I would vote for Weiner. Now, I've changed my mind completely. I think you remembered if I call at first.
Yeah, I remember your voice, absolutely. So why do you think he should pull out?
Oh, man, I mean, that guy, I mean, what's on his mind about, thinking that we're going to forgive him the second time, and his attitude is so bold and so, I don't know, it's amazing how this man thinks that we can keep forgiving him, or think that we can keep forgiving. And his wife, Uma, she's got to be a jerk. Sorry to say, sorry to be judgmental, but I mean, for a woman to be by his side the second time, it's just, how do you explain that?
Well, it's interesting because when we did the original Spitzer story back then, the topic was, should she leave him? And this kid called up. He was 12 years old. And he said, I want to talk about the Spitzer affair. And I said, okay, what do you want to say? And he said, well, that he thought she should leave him. And I said, well, did you think that Mrs. Clinton should have left Bill? And he said, yes. And I said, well, what do you think of these women who stick around? And he said, well, I guess they just got to do it.
Well, she can stay with him, but I think he should still pull out of the race because of the fact that, we can't put up with a liar like that. I mean, if he does this, I mean, and I just don't get the fact that he is so, I mean, the second time he's admitting that he's done it again. I mean, what's the tactic behind that? I mean, that should really break the camel's back in terms of him being reelected. And he was ahead. I mean, and I hate Quinn. I mean, Quinn was like, I'm from the Chelsea area, and I'm in an area where she lives, where she actually votes. I was a poll worker, and they hated Quinn. I mean, they were going for Yetta Curlin.
Well, what do you think of Weather Dude's point that, everybody's got their things they do? So. Well,
yeah, but I mean, let him do what he do, but have him, but to be involved in politics with that kind of thinking, it just prevents a lot of people to thinking that he's not a good person, period. I mean, you want a good person. I mean, not especially clean. I mean, look at Spitzer, I would vote for him. That's the story. I mean, the guy was a good troubleshooter, and he did a great, the thing is, you got to compare.
Yeah, but what he did, he slept with prostitutes. This guy just sent some dirty pics on the internet. I mean, I've got the topic that said, should Weiner pull out, but he never put it in.
Yeah, well, I mean, Spitzer's got a good background. I mean, he's got a better background than Stringer.
All right.
He's a good troubleshooter, and you got to compare his politics with his real life. And I think Spitzer's done a great job. I mean, when he was governor, he did a great job till this scandal happened. And the thing is, he was a hypocrite saying, I want to get rid of these people with sleep prostitutes, and he did, he slept with prostitutes. But I think he still did a great job in politics. He's still a good congressperson. I think he's still a good troubleshooter. And I think there was a lot of people that was against Spitzer that wanted him down, and they just dug up some facts, some dirt, It's the same with Hevesty. I mean, I liked Hevesty, but, somebody just had it against him, and they just dug up some dirt about him just to get him out of there.
Okay, listen, sir, we're going to let you go because we've got thousands of other callers here, but I want to thank you so much for your call, all right, for calling back and for your opinion, all right?
Okay, cool.
Remember, if it's Wednesdays, What Really Matters NYC, thank you so much for calling. Oh, Weather Dude, you got stuff to do? You want to hang around?
I got to get rolling.
Okay, listen, I want to say thank you very much for doing the weather for us, and you can sign off, my friend, all right?
All right, peace and love.
Yeah, peace and love to you. See you next week, Weather Dude. Thank you for the weather. All right, Lorraine.
Uh-huh.
What'd you think of that caller and the conversation so far? Ladies and gentlemen, you guys can still call. We got like another 6 minutes for calls. 212-757-2515 or 1536, okay? Should Weiner pull out? Did you smell the funky subway gas that they did some tests with? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about. And you know what? I'm going to be quiet, Lorraine, because I never let you talk. But, how can they name babies in England after they're born? We're all waiting for the name of this prince. Did that strike you as odd, Lorraine?
No, because they wanted to please everyone, and they ended up pleasing everyone in the family with those three names. But I wanted to get back to the Spitzer Weiner problems. It just shows that both of these men are vulnerable through weaknesses of the flesh. And that's a big vulnerability when you're on such a high throne, if they wherever they go in politics. So it's just a vulnerability that they would hinder them. So people need to consider that.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, that's why we love Lorraine so much. She comes in with the helicopter view, and she gives us the crystalline comment, which really sums it all up. Yeah, you're right. These guys have got a weakness, which, as to Weather Dude's point, you know, everyone's got their weaknesses, but it makes them particularly vulnerable in politics, which politics is doing service for us. And so in that regard, perhaps it, you know, brings and cascades that negativity or that vulnerability onto us and the policies that impact us. You know, I've invited Bill de Blasio. I really like him a lot. I wish he'd come on our show sometime. But he never shows up on our...
Let's say, for example, if women spies that close to them, that means if they had relations that they could extract the information very easily.
Yeah. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, I'm calling in regards to the winner pull-out question you have on your side, and I don't really think he should pull out of the race.
Why not?
Well, number one, I think that whatever he does, it's his business. Personally, if he wants to hook up with girls online, chat rooms, pay for sex, whatever. I mean, you know, everybody's entitled to do whatever they want with their lives. You know, because he's a public figure doesn't mean he's exempt from that. And, you know, I just think he should continue with it.
What do you think of Lorraine's point that it makes him vulnerable to spies or other women when he's when either one of these gentlemen are you know, conducting policy and legislation on?
Well, he shouldn't make pleasure with businesses. You know, he can screw up around and do whatever he wants to, but he shouldn't mix them up. I mean, if he gets high or drugs or something, I mean, he might talk, but you know. That doesn't mean whatever he says under those circumstances are to be legit.
Got it. Well, listen, we thank you for your call tonight, all right?
All right.
And you take care. Thank you so much. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you want to call? You've got like another 2 or 3 minutes here. 757-1536 or 2515. Should Weiner pull out? What would you name your favorite subway stop? Or anything else you want to talk about? You know, the candidates, they all slept in public housing this week. It was like a reality show. I don't know. These guys, I just lose so much faith in all of them so quickly, so often. But, you know, I don't know that I could do any better. I think the system is tough to work with. Do we have any callers? Caller, you on the air?
Yes, did you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, sir?
Yeah, no, everybody's talking. See, I got no opinion one way or the other that Weiner should get out. But everybody forgets about Ventura, and he became governor. And he said that he did prostitutes and smoked pot, and the people of Minnesota still voted him into office.
Well, and you know, Rockefeller, he was the governor. He died on his desk with a prostitute. I don't know if you know that story.
Right. Well, Dad, I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
Eliot Spitzer has a better chance of getting the job as controller as Weiner as his run, because people in general are gonna forgive Spitzer for prostitution, but as far as my man showing his junk on the internet, that's crazy.
So you think showing your junk on the internet is less than sleeping with a prostitute?
Look, as quiet as it's kept,
it's
a
quiet.
large percentage of men use prostitutes. All right, so that's the way he's gonna get a buy.
I see, but a large amount of men don't put their junk on the internet.
Don't put your junk on the internet.
Got it. But
All right.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You know what I think that when you go in the booth, I think this is how the voting works for people, because I don't have a lot of faith that people analyze. I think maybe like 1% of us analyze and really vote on what it is. I think they go in the booth, they see the name, they go with some names, they got a bunch of names they're not going to recognize, like Katsita Medtides and maybe Bill de Blasio they sort of know a little bit about, and Thompson from the past. And they're going to see Weiner, and they're going to go, yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah, no. But it's going to be a name that rings the most in their brain, and they're going to put the X next to it. I think that's how it works. I don't think
But see what I'm saying, Dad? I think that Weiner is qualified for his job, and I think Spitzer's qualified to be the controller, and Spitzer's probably overqualified to be controller.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is that there are things you do that eliminate you from holding certain jobs. That's like saying he's a great principal, he's one of the best in the country, but he's a pedophile.
Okay. Well, listen, sir, we thank you for your call, all right? We're going to let some other people on the air. Thank you.